Everybody ready? Mr. City Manager, Mr. Finance Director. Okay. Well, everybody, whoever's back here from being away for the summer, welcome back. Good to see everybody here. Welcome to the meeting of the Indian Wells City Council. Regular meetings held in City Hall Council Chamber are streamed live, so you can watch it here or on a device. Members of the public who wish to speak should fill out a blue slip and submit it to the city clerk, Angelica, up here in front, and comments are limited to 3 minutes. In accordance with state law, remarks during public comment are to be limited to subjects within the city's jurisdiction. If you are an individual with a disability and need a reasonable accommodation pursuant to the ADA, please contact the city clerk 48 hours prior to the meeting, which I guess is not going to happen. Please turn off all of your phones, all of the ringers on your phones.
Thank you.
I don't know how you do that. I've got a new phone. Hold for silent. Okay. All documents are available for public review at City Hall Reception, 44950 El Dorado Drive, Indian Wells, during normal business hours. The City Council will now convene with a Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Dr. Taylor, will you lead us?
Count of three. 1, 2, 3. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, before we get started, I want to talk just a little bit with my fellow council members here. My esteemed colleague, Mayor Pro Tem Reed, brought up to me at a recent meeting that maybe we should be following Rosenberg's rules on discussions of council, not before a motion is made, but after. And that's a good idea. On review of the Rosenberg's rules, which are our rules, Mayor Pro Tem Reed is correct. So today we will not start a council discussion or debate of agenda items until after public comments and after there's been a motion and a second. So that's when the discussion will occur, not before we have the motion, but after. So we'll go right from public comments to the motion. We will proceed to discussion, and there will be full discussion allowed by anybody on council to speak their mind however long they want before anybody calls a question or offers a substitute or alternate motion. This will in no way limit the right of every council member to fully discuss any matter on the agenda, but it may focus the discussion. Does anybody have a problem with that under Rosenberg's rules? All right. Good. Okay. We need to have a roll call, please.
Councilmember Sanders.
Present.
Councilmember Penna.
Present.
Councilmember Taylor.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Reed.
Present.
Mayor Whitman.
Present. And City Clerk, do you have any change or additions or amendments to the agenda?
Yes, there is actually one item for consent item G9, the 2025 Building Code Adoption. There is a minor typo on page 146 on section K, item 2, bullet point number 4, reads chapter 7. It's been corrected to chapter 1. Those
Okay.
are all my changes.
So amended.
Thank you.
Is there a motion otherwise to approve the final agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes 5-0. We'll go right to proclamations and presentations. C1, presentation of proclamation honoring Sri Garuda Merchant and the Rotary Club of Namaste Nexus. Councilmember Sanders.
Thank you, Mayor Whitman. May I suggest that both you and I step down and we can present the
Let's do it.
proclamation? fact, I was a president of a Rotary Club in a former life. Thank you. I was a president of a Rotary Club in a former life, not the present life. And I met Shri through the Rotary Club of Indian Wells. And she has taken the initiative and she has organized a completely new Rotary Club for Indian Wells. So now we'll have 2 here in the city. And the new club is called the Rotary Club of Namaste Nexus. And its reach is going to be valley-wide. In fact, they already have a significant public service project that is underway that I think Shri can probably explain. So rather than reading the entire proclamation, let me just read the final sentences here. I, Bruce Whitman, Mayor of the City of Indian Wells, and on behalf of the City Council, welcome the Rotary Club of Namaste Nexus, Greater Coachella Valley, California, as an important member of the Indian Wells community of civic and nonprofit organizations, and congratulate Shri Merchant for her devotion to the Rotary International tradition of service above self. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Oh my God.
Have you guys turn this way, 'cause that's way too bright. There we go. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Because you know how I talk a lot, so.
There you go.
So, Honorable Mayor Bruce Whitman and members of the City Council, on behalf of the Rotary Club of Namaste Nexus, we thank the City of Indian Wells for honoring us with this proclamation. Our club was formed with a vision to bring people together through culture, compassion, and community service. The word namaste reflects mutual respect, and nexus means connection. Together, they express who we are and what we stand for. Our mission is to create meaningful service opportunities that unite people of all backgrounds and make a positive difference, both here in our city of Indian Wells, the Coachella Valley, and around the world. We have already completed our first community project, Hearts in Motion, within the first 3 weeks of chartering our Rotary Club. And we are also planning to launch the Earth Nexus Project, an environmental effort that will include our No More Trash education program. This program will inspire young students to take the lead in reminding their families and neighbors, no more trash. It's about building pride and responsibility for the cleaner, healthier community. We are proud to represent a new inclusive generation of Rotary, one that builds friendships through service and strengthens the bonds within our community. We look forward to collaborating with the City of Indian Wells, and thank you for welcoming us into the community. So, it was very
Congratulations.
good. Thank you so much, guys.
You bet.
We'll get this back too. All right, next we have number C2, which is Riverside County Fire Department Quarterly Update by Division Chief Mike Beverlin. Welcome, Chief.
Good to see everybody. Sorry. Good to see everybody. So we have the quarterly report. We'll be looking at the calls for Indian Wells for the last quarter and compare it to the previous year and look at the significant incidents for the last quarter. Sorry, technical difficulties. It's
good thing we got rid of the old ones that work just fine.
Oh, by the way, did everybody see the new screen, how large it is and how clear it is?
And how black it is. Technology, it's a wonderful thing when it works.
Chief, why don't you,
All right, very good. Well, we had a busy summer. Things were, I think, compared to the previous year, it wasn't as busy, but if you look at the trend year over year, we're up about 4% call volume wise. We did have one significant incident, which was a structure fire that was pretty large in the middle of a very, very hot day. We ended up sending 4 firefighters to the hospital that day fighting that fire. Luckily, no civilians or pets were injured. We also did Fire Prevention Week this week at all of the schools. Normally this time of year we'd be doing mini muster, but we moved that to March. So that's the end of my report unless there's any questions.
anybody on council have any questions for the chief? Hearing none, thank you, Chief Beverlin.
Thank you.
Next, introduction of Special Enforcement Deputy Austin Travis Cook and Riverside County Sheriff quarterly update by Special Enforcement Team Deputy Peter Pragen. Miss. Ah. Okay. We're working on it. Thank you, Deputy. If you want.
I'm Deputy Creighton with the Special Enforcement Team. I'll be presenting the stats today, but first, we're going to introduce Deputy Cook, who's a new member of the Special Enforcement Team.
Good afternoon. Like you said, I am Deputy Cook. I'm new to the enforcement team, joined back in early August. I do not have a long speech prepared at all, so I will save you all of that time. I'm excited to be here. I've been a proud visitor of Indian Wells, never a resident, but a visitor of Indian Wells for a very long time. So I'm familiar with the city and the people that live here. So I just hold a great pride of this position. So thank you for having me.
Welcome and thank you.
Also in the back, we have our Traffic Sergeant, Sergeant Stan, with our Corporal Scott, and Deputy Yu, who comprise our traffic team.
Come on up. Deputy Yu.
Yeah.
Everybody knows you, sir. Please stop.
GPS on
He's on 111. Pulled over on the
I think he'd be too fast for the GPS.
We're going to bronze him.
Hi, my name is Emil Stan. I'm a sergeant with the Sheriff's Department. I supervise the traffic unit, including Deputy Yu, who's doing an amazing job for you guys. I don't think he needs an introduction. I do want to introduce to you guys Corporal Scott. He's going to be our new motor. He's started with us today. He will be. You guys will start seeing him out there on Monday. So he'll be splitting the week between him and Deputy Yu. We'll have coverage Monday through Friday.
Great.
So. This is Corporal.
We talk about himself?
You. Go ahead, Deputy.
Hello, Corporal Michael Scott. I've been with the department about 18 years. I was a previous motor in the city of La Quinta, right next door, for about 6 years. I've done all kind of assignments within the department, obviously, being on this long, so looking forward to it.
We assume you're a veteran motorcycle rider. Is that correct?
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad he got the promotion to Indian Wells from La Quinta.
I won't tell Linda Evans. We'll keep this our secret, all right?
Oh, she knows.
Thank you, deputies.
Oh, boy, I'll be in for one now.
Deputy Pragen, do you want to, I think we've got something working up here. If you want to,
Absolutely. We can go through the numbers. So this is going to be the numbers for the last 3 months, or more specifically for the first quarter of the year, the fiscal year. So for the first quarter of the fiscal year, we had 3,305 file numbers. We had 654 calls for service. We had 2,649 self-initiated numbers. 38 total arrests were made. 6 DUI arrests were made. 20 warrant arrests were made. And we conducted 2,004 area checks. When it came to traffic, there were 2 minor injuries and 24 non-injuries. Traffic citations for the quarter were 636, which are up from the same period of time last year, showing about a 6% increase. Well, it's working, right? I like that. You know. When it came to our uniform crime reporting data for this quarter, as you can see, crime stats only showed 3 aggravated assaults, 1 burglary, 1 auto theft, for a total of 5 Part 1 crimes for this quarter. We had some notable cases that Deputy Cook and I.
Can you go back to where the larceny, we only had 0 larceny in the whole first quarter?
Yes, I believe that to be accurate at that time.
I mean, could you explain how we went from 55 to 0?
So the first two columns.
Good news, but I'd like to know how
No,
we did it.
so the first 2 columns are kind of the year ending for 2023, and then for the year up to date for 2024. This is only for the first 3 months, so we're only taking that snapshot of that time period.
So those are the summer months.
Yes, so because it's beginning the year, at that time when I put the stats together, I didn't feel that it would be appropriate to compare it to the previous timeframes. But actually, by all indications, these certain types of calls are down. So,
Well, that's good news.
In that regard, would you classify crimes that are committed by computer, for example, where people are built out of their savings and so forth? Is that a crime of larceny?
so that's usually fraud.
Fraud?
So it is
Okay.
a form of larceny, but not the way we report it. Those are reported differently. But as far as the stats go for the first 3 months, there didn't seem to be many of those calls for service.
You say there are many?
Aren't that? No, not many.
there-
I mean,
there
I'm not
are
exactly sure what the
not
number is,
many.
but I do believe that it shows up in the other reports, and I can get that information to you.
Good. Thank you.
So when it came to some of the cases that Deputy Cook and I were working on for the last 3 months, one of them involved an embezzlement or grand theft of the DMV. This is a call that originated in Indian Wells, but it kind of mushroomed to cover the Coachella Valley, and we were able to close out that call with actually a suspect, and information was sent to the district attorney for filing. This person had caused over $80,000 worth of fraud to the DMV. Another case that we were able to clear was a cargo theft that occurred in March. This cargo theft was over $500,000. It originated at the tennis gardens, and that suspect was arrested a couple weeks ago in connection to that theft.
Great.
In another case, Deputy Cook and I were able to enact an arrest quite quickly. Was a burglary that occurred at one of the resort hotels about a month ago. So that's about it for the notable cases been working on.
Can I ask a question? The Desert Sun reported an incident, I think last weekend, about a drunk driver that first had an incident in Indian Wells before going to La Quinta, where he severely injured one teenager and hurt another teenager.
Yeah, so
I
don't
missed
have-
the Indian Wells portion of that.
So Sergeant Stan can comment on that a little bit more.
Okay, thank you.
So that incident, as you mentioned, Councilmember, it has been in the news for a few days now. It started with a traffic collision at Cook and Highway 111, and it was a hit-and-run collision that ultimately ended up in the city of La Quinta, causing a major traffic collision. As far as I'm aware, I don't think it's been declared a fatal collision yet, but it's an ongoing investigation, and the suspect is in custody for that.
Was anybody hurt here in Indian Wells? at
No,
Cook
no
in
one
the
was. It was
hit and run?
basically it was a vehicle was stopped at a red light, and it was rear-ended, and it was just complaint of pain. No,
Got it.
no injury.
Thank you for that update.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Any other questions?
I have a comment, if
Comment?
that's okay. Recently, there was an incident off of Warner Trail. It was, I think, reported to the dispatcher as a home invasion. Turned out not to be a home invasion, but that's not the point. The point is, according to the residents, it was like instantaneous. There were 5 squad cars and a helicopter on the scene, and it's a testament to how well the cooperation among the cities works. So not only did Indian Wells respond, but other cities responded as well. And it works marvelously. And anybody who thinks that the realignment we recently did in terms of our staffing of deputies on the streets has in any way sacrificed our ability to suppress crime is just wrong. It works marvelously. So thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Thank you, Deputy.
Thank you.
All right, we will move on to C4, Department of Animal Services presentation by Director Mary Martin. Are you Mary Martin?
Greetings,
No.
Mayor Whitman and council members. Mary Martin, Director, had a family
Oh, okay.
issue today, so.
I didn't think you were Mary Martin.
I'm Kimberly Youngberg. I'm the Assistant Director for the Department of Animal Services, so I'll be presenting to you guys today, and thank you for giving me your time.
Thank you.
And thank you to everyone who presented before me for working out all the bugs.
Yeah,
Now we'll see if I can get this to work.
yeah, don't hex it. You know.
So just a little bit about our department. As you know, we serve all of Riverside County and actually 15 contract cities at this point. We have more than 200 employees that work for the Department of Animal Services, and we cover about 90% of the county's land mass with our services. We have 4 shelters across the county of Riverside, and the location that serves you guys is the Coachella Valley Animal Campus, which is in Thousand Palms. And our department is split up into 4 main divisions. We have our field services, which is our animal control officers that, go out and do the service work in the field. We have shelter services that takes care of the animals that come into our shelters, veterinary services that take care of the medical needs, and then administration. So some data just for 2024 to give you guys an idea of what we respond to. We're generally intaking more than 30,000 animals into our system. In 2024, we had more than 20,000 of those that we were able to achieve a live outcome, saving them through adoptions and programming. Our live release rate, which is the number of animals that come in that have a live outcome in 2024, was 71.6%. We're currently at 77, almost 78% for fiscal year 2025. So we're doing a really good job with that with some of the programs that I can tell you guys about in just a minute. We also responded to more than 40,000 calls for service and did more than 14,000 spay and neuter surgeries in the county last year. And then we were also able to provide services for people that were looking to redeem pets and things like that. And we were able to keep more than 4,600 of these pets from actually entering our shelters just by offering the services that we can provide. Just a little bit of information on Indian Wells and what your burden is on our system. It's actually quite small. So our total intake from Indian Wells last year was 31 animals. That includes dogs, cats, birds, and some others, and wildlife. And our calls for service to the city, we had about 66 initial calls that came in from city members, and it took about 155 responses to get those calls resolved. Interesting to note, the majority of these calls were actually for wildlife, injured wildlife, not so much, stray roaming dogs. And we did have 5 requests to investigate potential cruelty type situations. That was just requests. That's not that they went to, any kind of prosecution. So again, our field services department, this is our animal control officers. They're community service driven. So, as calls come in, they respond for things such as animal cruelty. They do humane law enforcement and also emergency response. Shelter services are the ones that take care of all the animals that come into our care. Again, more than 30,000 animals per year. And they're also in charge of all of our life-saving programs. So again, the pet support for people that need help that are coming into our shelters, any kind of pet adoptions, adoption events. Just a shout out right now, all of our adoption fees are waived. So anyone looking for a pet, please come down to the shelter. There's a lot of them. And we're also working on doing transports to get animals out across the nation. We've got a robust volunteer program, always looking for more volunteers. Veterinary services, a great announcement is that we have a full-time veterinarian at the Coachella Valley campus 4 days a week now, and so we're doing surgeries regularly. So check in on our social media and website and whatnot if you're looking for those services. We're also working a lot with our communications to get our word out there. On our website, we've produced this daily dashboard too that you can look at to see our progress of what's coming, what animals are coming in, what animals are going out. This was the update from today, so we're updating this daily for transparency in the community. We're also hiring new staff to be able to work on the life-saving programs that we're providing to our community. Another program we have right now is our DIBS program, where you can actually go in and put holds on animals that you're interested in adopting right now. And so that's a great way for us to try to get them out really quickly. And then last but not least, we have new hours at the shelter. So we're now open Tuesday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays and Sundays from 10 to 4, close Monday. So just to try and get more people in there. And that's it. So please feel free to contact myself or Director Martin if you have any questions.
Does anybody on council have a question? Yes, Mayor Pro Tem Reed.
2 quick questions.
Sure.
In the unfortunate case where a pet dies, do you take care of the remains? What does one do when one's pet dies?
We can definitely do that. We perform those services at a low cost, and we can help them to take care of their deceased pet as well.
Do you pick them up, or do they have to deliver it to you?
Generally, they have to deliver it to us, but if there's a case where, say somebody is, mobility disabled or something like that, we can definitely help. Please call us and we can work something out.
Thank you. My second question is, I guess last week I read in the local paper that a student at the at the Gerald Ford Elementary School was bitten by a rattlesnake. Do you handle venomous snakes and things like that?
We do come out for venomous snake calls. That would be like a priority 1 emergency. So yes, if you find a rattlesnake, call us.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, I serve on the county's Animal Campus Commission, which more or less helps to oversee the Department of Animal Services programs here in the Coachella Valley. When I was first appointed by the council here to sit on the commission, the animal services programs were not running as optimally as they should. through the new Animal Services Director, Mary Martin Kimberly, and their staff, they've completely turned that operation around. It's just, it's marvelous. They've quieted the criticisms that were very much prevalent at each one of the meetings. I mean, it was pretty vicious at times. There is a policy that was adopted by the commission of instituting a no-kill shelter, and they're well on their way to achieving that goal. And if the taxpayers want to see an operation where they really get their money, this is one of them. It's really marvelous what you do. So thank you.
Thank you, council member.
Anybody else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Next, C5, Hidden Harvest presentation by Executive Director Francisco Linares. Welcome, Director.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Francisco Linares. I'm with Hidden Harvest. I'm the Executive Director. I've been with Hidden Harvest for the past 20 years. I was honored to step into the role as the Executive Director after our founder, Christy Porter, retired last year. So a little bit about Hidden Harvest. Hidden Harvest is a nonprofit that rescues produce from local packing houses here in the valley, and takes them, we deliver out to neighbors in need. Here in Indian Wells, we started serving a 55 and older community, Mountain View Park, I think it is, here on 111. And starting next month, I think we're gonna be serving about 120 people there, seniors. And starting next month, November, we'll be serving another 55 and older community here in Indian Wells too, right before.
Indian Wells.
Yeah, that one, yeah. So we'll start with that one. I think it's another 80 seniors there.
It's really good.
Hidden Harvest, we acquire our produce, like I said, from local packing houses, any surplus that they have. We work with them. It's some other places that we get our gather our produce is we work with small local farmers here in the valley. With the donations, instead of us buying the produce to hand out to the seniors, instead of buying it from LA markets, we like to keep the money here local, so we hire the small farmers so that they could grow what we need for our seniors and they could have fresh local produce. All that produce also goes to places here in the senior centers, Coachella. We serve all the way from Desert Hot Springs to North Shore, even up in Idlewild. Senior centers, youth groups, boys and girls clubs, YMCA, and the 55 and older communities. I will also like to make an invitation for our annual luncheon that we're having in November 20th at Rancho Mirage at the Agua Caliente Resort. We would like to invite you guys and see if you guys want to sponsor us or join us. So we have your support. Other cities already joined in. So we wanted to make an invitation for you guys and hope to see you there pretty soon. Is there any questions? I'm sorry.
Thank you. In terms of a sponsorship, I think you would have to maybe talk to our city manager about that. Start there if you want to talk to him after the meeting or
Okay.
call him. Chris Freeland is his name.
All right, I will.
Yeah.
Can I hand out these invitations so you could,
Yeah, great.
And again,
Anybody have any questions?
I do. I have a question.
Okay.
How often do the local farmers have surplus?
local farmers, the local farmers is they grow for us, the small local farmers, but the big corporations like Primetime and big companies, it's only in season. It's from November till the end of March. And then they start again with the other crops. It's from May through June. So, and then July, August, September, that's when we start getting, with the small farmers, the soil ready for to get started again. We start planting in August. We start harvesting in September, all the way through March also with our small farmers.
Okay, thank you. And then last question, how do you fulfill the shortages when you have in between, if you have a bad year or there just isn't any surplus?
We've been having some good partnership with other nonprofits in LA. When there's too much surplus here, we send it out there when they're not in season.
Okay.
And when we're getting low, when it's like the months of August, when it's too hot here and nothing grows here in the valley, they help us out. So we help each other out, and that's how we're able to have produce all year round.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Linares.
Mr. Mayor.
Oh, wait, do you have a question?
Just a comment and
Okay.
a question. Comment is, you guys do a wonderful job, so thank you.
Thank you.
Question, do you work at all with Find Food Bank?
Yes, that's also our partner, and that's the same thing. Produce that we grow or produce that we get from the local packing houses, we also deliver some of it to them. Again, we help each other out. When I run low, I go to them. So we're always working together.
That's good.
So
Great, thank you.
thank you.
All right, moving on to public comments. Ms. City Clerk.
I don't have any blue slips.
Okay. So these are public comments that are not listed on the agenda.
I have one coming up.
Here comes one coming. This is for a matter not on the agenda, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Hi,
Please
good
state your
afternoon,
name. Yeah.
Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, council and staff. My name is Javier Enriquez. I'm a senior public affairs specialist with South Coast Air Quality Management District. On behalf of South Coast AQMD, I have two announcements. The first one is Invest Clean. South Coast AQMD is excited to share that more than $417 million is now available through Invest Clean program, which provides four major funding opportunities. First, the charging infrastructure program helps offset the cost of installing DC fast chargers for Class 4 through 8 vehicles. Eligible applicants include charging station developers, fleet operators, truck stops, and distribution centers. Second, the truck replacement program is a scrap and replace program to transition Class 8 diesel goods, movement trucks, such as heavy haulers, box trucks, dump trucks, and refuse trucks into battery electric alternatives. Third, the battery electric cargo handling equipment program provides funding to replace diesel yard trucks or top handlers with battery electric models. Fleet owners at warehouses and freight facilities are encouraged to apply. Finally, the battery electric switcher locomotive program supports replacing diesel-fueled switcher locomotives with battery electric versions. Charging infrastructure for these locomotives is also eligible for funding. Application must be submitted online by 12 p.m. on November 28th, 2025. For full details and instructions how to apply, please visit InvestClean webpage at aqmd/InvestClean. The second announcement is South Coast Air Quality Management District will be hosting a Coachella Valley Dust Summit on Thursday, November 6, 2025 at 5 p.m. This is in person and online. In person will be held at UC Riverside Auditorium, Palm Desert Center, Palm Desert, California. Again, this is for in person and online. Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members for your time.
Thank you. Please note that while the city council values public input, it cannot take action or
Yeah, we just have a quick question.
or engage in discussion on items not on the agenda. However, the council may refer matters raised during this public comment area to staff for review, follow-up as appropriate.
So I just have a quick question. You're an employee of the AQMD?
That is correct.
Great. So, as you plan for the Dust Summit, what are you hoping to achieve out of that meeting?
One is we have subject matter experts from different fields and agencies that are going to be at that event, and those we're trying to get the most attendance from all the Coachella residents from the 9 cities to show up and listen in to see and show what we are doing, what's being done from multiple agencies regarding the dust issues here in the Coachella Valley.
So it's more of an informative, here's what we're doing approach to this Dust Summit, right? A kind of
Correct.
show and tell, if you will.
Yes.
Okay. And do you hope, so is your hope then to just achieve a sharing of knowledge?
Yes.
Okay.
And what's being done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question. So there is something being done to mitigate the dust?
That's what they're going to discuss to find out what the findings are and items to be able to mitigate the dust issues here in the Coachella Valley.
Okay, thank you.
So just so to clarify, there's a meeting of AQMD on November 6th at what time?
At 5 p.m.
5 p.m., either in person or
Or online.
remotely.
Correct.
And that's at the Riverside UC Riverside
Auditorium and Palm Desert Center.
in Palm Desert.
Correct.
Correct. 5 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And I will share this information and the link.
Please share it with our
the
staff, and
clerk
maybe
as
they
well.
can give us an update. Yeah, if you could give our staff the information.
Will do.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for your time.
Okay, any other public comments? All right, let's move on to our city manager report. City manager, do you have a report?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council. I have several. At this time, if I can ask Nick Warner, who is our IT and risk manager, to come down. And while he's doing that, I want to thank Nick and his team for putting together the improvements in the council chambers, and thank everybody for their patience today as we get through the audio and a little bit of technical difficulties as we flip on the switches for all the different microphones and that. But Nick and his team worked on it this summer, and I know he wants to make a couple quick comments too.
Yep. Hi. Good afternoon, Council. As you know, everything in here is really new. So what we did over the summer is we replaced all the cabling in the room. It was all over 25 years old. It was all analog cabling, so we replaced that all with digital cabling. We replaced all the devices that you're looking at, microphones, screens. Obviously, the focal piece is the 130-inch video wall. Got rid of the projector, so you'll no longer have that blinding in the eyes, which is great. And then as far as the room goes, I have Western AV here who helped us with the project. They're helping us work in bugs, which obviously we've had a few. But and then also, I really wanted to let you guys know that our public works staff, they did the entire day as all the tabletops you see, refinished all that. The entire backing behind the video wall, they flushed that. It's all plywood to make that a smooth surface without any transition seams or anything like that. And all the lighting in here is replaced as well. They replaced all the halogen lights. They're all LED now. All the fluorescents replaced with LED, so it's more efficient. And as a former council member said, hopefully you won't feel like you're going to get a sunburn while you're up there. So, yeah, I wanted to thank our public works guys. They really helped out a lot in this project and really made this successful for us. So I don't know if you have any questions on anything, but one of the things you'll notice is the mics are sensitive. So if you touch it, you'll hear it. So other than that, I don't know if there's any other questions. The other thing that you'll notice is mics. You can control them yourself, and you'll have an individual speaker at your dais if you'd like to turn volume up individually for yourself as well.
All right, thank you, Nick. Any questions?
Yeah, this is probably a decent time to do this, but I'd like to create a motion to have Nick kind of go through at our next city council meeting, kind of the overall technology plan for the city, what you're currently working on, what you anticipate working on, et cetera. Just add as an agenda item so we can get a presentation.
Okay, I'll let our city manager let me know that we'll agendize that.
Do I need a motion for that, for all of us to vote on?
I believe we do need to have
Yep.
a motion for
So
that. And
I move that we ask for a technology presentation and our plan at our next meeting.
Second the motion.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. So we will have a future agenda item, either next meeting or whatever, however long it takes, to get a report for us, and we'll have that on our agenda,
Thank you.
hopefully in November.
All right, Mr. Mayor, a few other items. Kevin McCarthy, please stand. He had no idea I was going to embarrass him. Congratulations to our very own Kevin McCarthy. He was named a finalist for the California Joint Powers Insurance Authority Capstone Award for his committed service to his profession. He was recognized in front of his peers from across the state a couple weeks ago at the JPIA session for his expertise in the risk management field. So one of the best in California for, once again, another field that he's an expert in. So congratulations, Kevin. I also have a variety of upcoming events I want to make sure we share with the community. First, the Players Course Grand Opening Celebration is on December 2nd. Look for an invitation via email in the coming weeks. Hope you're all able to attend. We'll have activities for golfers and non-golfers alike. Veterans Day ceremony is on November the 11th at 10 a.m. here at City Hall. We have an amazing program. I think Councilmember Sanders and Mayor Whitman have been working closely with staff on that, and they have some stuff perhaps to share under their council comments. The resident welcome back party is next week, November 23rd at the Indian Wells Golf Resort. The event sold out within hours. Once again, is a great success. Holiday tree lighting ceremony is on December 2nd. Not sure what time we'll light the tree, but I would imagine it'll be sometime around dusk. And then finally, on your agenda, your consent calendar agenda, item G4. That is a consent calendar item regarding additional funding for regional solutions for homelessness. I'm not asking council to pull that item. However, I had a request from a couple of council members just to explain a little bit about what that action is, because it is something to celebrate. If you recall at your last council meeting, the city council approved homeless funding for the CVAG's Housing First program at $125,000 level. And at that same time, the council recommended approval of an additional $125,000 for the Coachella Valley Rescue Mission and Martha's Village and Kitchen. And so that makes a total of $375,000 to address regional homelessness issues in the valley. And so we want to make sure that the public was aware of that. And we do have additional funding coming out for our various nonprofits as part of our grants and aid program at your November meeting. So there's a lot to be celebrated with regards to some of these programs that we're helping be a part of. And with that, that concludes my updates, Mr. Mayor.
Any questions for the city manager? Yes.
So first of all, congratulations on figuring out how to get the money into the hands of the people who are going to continue to successfully address homelessness. That was a remarkable effort, so thank you. And I know there's a lot of, hard work done behind the scenes to get that done. I have two questions. One is on the golf course opening. Do we have clarity yet on whether the course could be open to the public before Thanksgiving?
I think that we'll get an update at the next golf committee. It's our intent to do so. I know our head grass grower, Nick, is trying to make sure that that is a possibility. I think the city wishes to see that, as well as trim, because that's a great weekend to make a little bit extra revenue for the city. But it has not been confirmed, Councilmember Taylor.
We have a head grass grower?
We do. It's called the Director of Agronomy.
Oh, okay.
But he likes to be called the head grass grower.
That could have a, it's legal in California, so I guess it's all right.
That's one of those other initiatives we do over there to make money for the city, I'm sure.
And then you said the welcome back party was sold out.
It is.
How many have there been people turned away?
I'll defer to the city clerk on that.
We actually have been able, we had a couple of, so we did move into a registration online, so we had a lot of duplicates. So happy to report that we minimized the wait list, so we're pretty much everyone's able to come. So we have about 350 coming.
Pretty much? Or
Pretty much everyone is.
We got everybody. Okay, we got everybody. Okay, thank you.
Let's see, where are we now? City Attorney reports and comments. Mr. City Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As you know, the council met in closed session this afternoon to discuss the 3 items identified in the agenda. On the first 2 items, D1 and D2, no action was taken that must be reported under the Brown Act. However, under item D3, action was taken that must be reported under the Brown Act. The council voted unanimously to approve a settlement agreement with the Indian Wells Country Club regarding the club's recent pickleball project. The club has withdrawn its application and has committed to working with neighbors before it submits a new application for any revised project that the club might propose in the future. Copies of the assigned settlement agreement are available for the public to review. Angelica, where are those at? Okay, so available from the city clerk. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Okay, so if anybody wants to read the settlement agreement, they can get it from the city clerk. Okay? All right. Thank you. Now we go to the consent calendar. I am asking to pull G6. And after we...
Move the balance.
Second the motion?
All in favor? Aye. All right, G6 is a resolution amending the City Council Policy Manual section. The only one I'm concerned about is section 3.01.030, placing items on the agenda. I have a problem with changing that particular session. I know that the governance committee is recommending it. But as I look at that section gives a city council member 2 ways, as it sits right now, 2 ways to propose a matter be placed on the agenda. One way is for the council member to inform the city manager at least 14 days before the next meeting that they want to have an item placed on the agenda. That's one way. The second way is for the council.
Could I make a point of order? You mentioned earlier that before we have a discussion, we need a motion and a second, and then the discussion. So to follow your lead and your recommendation, I move approval of item G6.
Is there a second?
I second.
And now discussion.
All right.
Sorry for interrupting.
Okay. I guess the second way is for a council member during the council member reports to, for example, what just happened with Dr. Taylor, make a proposal that a matter be on a future agenda. And at that point, then council would decide whether it wants to place that matter on the agenda or not. As I understand the recommendation of the governance committee, the recommendation is to take away and remove the ability for a council member to inform the city manager at least 14 days before the next meeting that they would like to place a matter on the agenda for further discussion. And I think the problem I have with that is, to me, the council's absolute responsibility is to make policy. And the first way to start making a policy is to place a matter on the agenda. And as the agenda is being formed currently, the city manager and the city clerk form the agenda, and they take data from the other department heads, from our strategic planning, but strategic planning was almost 8 months ago. So I think it's very important that we not take away any ability for a council member to put a matter on an agenda. And I guess the question I have is for somebody on the governance committee or the city manager is why do we want to change this policy? What is the reasoning behind removing the 14-day ability? Yes.
As a member of the governance committee, it revolves around whether any one council member can have unlimited number of items put on the agenda that does not even have the support of a seconder. So the idea is, if you want something on the agenda, you move to put it on the agenda. If it's seconded, then we vote, do we want to hear it or not? If it is something that is not within the purview of the city council, well, that would be a good reason to vote against it. If it was something that we simply didn't approve, that would be another thing to reject it. However, I would suspect that the overwhelming majority of requests that are moved and seconded will be approved for the purposes of discussion and eventual vote. It gives the staff an opportunity between meetings to do a thorough analysis of the proposal, because this is something that has not been staff-driven. It's been driven by a single council member. Gives the staff an opportunity to do its due diligence, to prepare a staff report, so that when it comes before us, we have the information necessary and that is reasonable for us to decide whether to do it or not. Under the current rule, where one council member can put something on the agenda, if they give notice to the city manager 14 days before, there is little or no opportunity for enough due diligence, because the agenda goes out a week before the meeting. So, and then it may be something that is of absolutely no consequence to the city whatsoever, could be highly controversial, could be something that is simply a one-person wish list, if you will, and then we have to suffer the consequences of informing the public that we're even going to consider something that it doesn't have a snowball's chance in Hades of passing. So I understand the mayor's concern. I agree with him. We want to make things easier rather than more difficult, but we also want to make sure there's complete transparency. We want to make sure that the residents have ample opportunity to know what is going to be heard and when. And we want the staff, our professional staff, the opportunity to do their due diligence and to provide us with all the relevant information we need in order to make a decision.
Anybody else?
The only other thing I'll just remind you is if there is something incredibly urgent, you can call a special meeting.
Special meeting?
Right. Well, or
Well,
add
there's an
something to the
emergency.
agenda with a 3/4 vote, right, Mr. City Attorney? We could, if there was something that was urgent and couldn't or shouldn't wait for the next meeting, we could put it on the agenda with a 4-vote majority?
I believe it is a supermajority, and I think it also needs a finding that it couldn't have been known before the agenda was published.
Right, thank you.
So what we're really talking about is 2 weeks.
So, well, yeah, but we're also talking about having a limitation on a single council member ability to give the staff 2 weeks' notice of a matter that they would like to place on the agenda, and give the staff time, a 2 week. I assume that the reason that this section was passed in the first place was so that there were alternate ways that a city council member could get something on the agenda. And if they could give 14 days in advance to the staff, then the staff has an opportunity, the city manager and staff have an opportunity to look into it and maybe prepare a brief report so that matter could actually be on the next agenda. So unless somebody can think of any other reason why this method is on the manual, on the council policy manual, it seems to me that some of our predecessors decided that there should be 2 distinct ways to allow a council member to do that. And we are all elected, and I understand, you don't want a rogue council member bringing in a bunch of different motions, but nonetheless, we are all elected, and any single council member, in my opinion, should have the opportunity to bring a matter to the attention of the city manager and staff and have that matter placed on the agenda for further decision by the council. When I listen to you, Mayor Pro Tem, it occurs to me that every argument you made against it can also be made against even allowing a council member to bring it on the dais. A council member could bring up any number of motions to have matters placed on a future agenda while we're sitting on the dais, just in the same way that they would do it 14 days in advance. But this does limit the ability of a council member to bring something to the attention of the remainder of council, and I don't think that it's good that we limit the ability of a city council member to put something on an agenda.
May I respond, Mr. Mayor?
Of course.
Thank you. Under present rules, a single council member can only ask for up to 2 hours of staff time without approval of the council. So if I want to put something on the agenda and I give it to Chris 14 days in advance, he has 7 days before the agenda has to becomes public, and he can only spend 2 hours. And I as a council member, I want more than, in many instances, I want more than 2 hours of staff time analysis as to the pros and cons of a particular item before I vote yes or no. That's why we have professional staff. That's why we have people who can give us the information we need so that we can make an informed decision. And the way it is currently written, it does not give us the opportunity to have the sufficient input from staff, and that's why on the governance committee, we are recommending the change.
If I could make one more response to that. Okay, so 14 days before council, staff would maybe spend 2 hours on it. The rule also provides that the council member who's raising the issue 14 days in advance may prepare a written report for the rest of council. So there could be considerable input from that council member. And I think that it's important that each of us, in cooperation with the others on council, have faith and trust that if a council member does feel that it's important enough to tell the city manager 14 days in advance and write a written report, that it may be considered at that next meeting, or there's no reason that you could not make an alternate motion and say, I'd like to put it on the future agenda and give staff a chance, more time to review it. But there may be items that don't require more than 2 hours of staff time and that don't require more than a written report. And we are foreclosing that. And I don't think that's a good policy matter to foreclose a council member from trying to get something on an agenda through a rule, following the rules that have been passed by a previous council to get a matter on the agenda. And I don't think it's good policy to make it harder or may have less alternative ways for a council member to bring something to the official attention of his fellow council members at the next agenda. And I just don't see in whose best interest this is, removing this matter. I don't think it's in the best interest of the residents, and I don't think it's in the best interest of city council members. I just don't see who wants this or why this is a good thing to pass. Anybody else?
Yeah, if I may briefly, I'm a great believer in process. And I don't mean to sound like a bureaucrat, but process keeps us from descending into chaos. And I think the proposal that's been put on the table speaks to good process. Look, if there's an emergency, a city council member has the means to at least attempt to get the mayor, the city manager to call for a special meeting. Short of an emergency, I think the balance of the council deserves the opportunity to determine whether or not the agenda item that is proposed by a member of the city council rises to the level of something that ought to be on the agenda before staff time is taken, and to determine whether or not there may be a quick and easy fix to whatever the issue is that the city council member wants to have agendized. So I'm going to vote in favor of the recommended action.
Can we have a call to question?
Let's call the question. Does somebody have a motion?
The motion's been made.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? 1. The motion passes 4-1. All right.
Mr. Mayor, can I make just a couple of brief comments about the consent calendar that I think are worth people knowing now that it's been passed?
Well, okay, but it was passed, it's on the agenda.
I understand, but I think it's worthwhile people noting that the city did a great job in negotiating a deal to share the cost of fixing Fred Waring in a shared cost with Palm Desert. And I think some of you should be aware that we're now offering the cards, the annual resident benefit cards, digitally. And there'll be an incentive to order them digitally. So pay attention to that, please. Those are my comments.
All right, let's move forward to public hearings. Public hearing item H1. This is a resolution amending the amount of the DUI driver and vehicle impound cost recovery fee pursuant to Chapter 10.25 of the Indian Wells Municipal Code. Council opens the public hearing at 2:40. Is there a staff presentation?
Yes, thank you, Mayor, Council.
you.
Kristen Nelson, Administrative Services Manager. I'm shorter than a lot of your typical presenters, so I'm trying to be mindful of this new hot mic, thanks to Nick over here. The resolution presented to you today addresses increases to the city's vehicle impound cost recovery fees, also known as your VICR fees. These fees are imposed by the city by authority through the county to recoup administrative and operational costs incurred when our law enforcement impounds vehicles due to legal violations or public safety concerns. And these fees are split into standard impounds and DUI impounds. The city's VICR fees have not been updated since 2013. The city of Palm Desert recently increased their fees on April 10th, at which time the Riverside County Sheriff's Department approached the city to request a review of our VICR fees in the community and seek increases in association with state law and in alignment with the changes that they were anticipating for the rest of the valley. Our current fees, and I'm going to go ahead and move here. Our current standard impound fee of $150 and our current DUI impound fee of $670 is significantly below par when it comes to cost recovery, especially because of increases to administrative costs, as well as officer needs in the field for a variety of different issues. And so in alignment with what the city of Palm Desert implemented, we are proposing identical fees of $275 for a standard impound and $1,190 for a DUI impound. These are slightly above Rancho Mirage's adopted fees from September 4th, which you'll see within your staff report, which also aligns with council's interest in finding ways for us to be comparable with Cove Commission. In addition to these changes, we would also like, well, this is a good one. I'll back up. I know sometimes when we talk about fees, we are concerned that the fee will impact our residents. And so just to reassure council members and members of the public who are here with us today or who may be watching later, of the 25 DUI arrests made in Indian Wells between July 1st, 2024 and July 31st, 2025, not a single one was an Indian Wells resident. And so we don't anticipate that these fees will negatively impact our residents. But as Council Member Sanders likes to say, crime does not pay in Indian Wells, but now we do charge. In addition
I'll
to
accept that as being the author of that statement.
In addition to this annual increase, the resolution before you also suggests an annual increase of either 5% or the sheriff's rate increase, whichever is less. I do have Sergeant Stan here with the traffic enforcement team if you have any questions, but I will turn it over to you if you have any, and we'll go from there.
Does anybody have any questions? All right, we'll move right ahead to the public comment portion of the hearing. Do we have any public comments? We'll close the public comment portion of the.
Purpose of discussion, I move adoption of the resolution.
Second
Is there a
motion.
second? Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, the matter has been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Next, we have the H2, which is the Commercial Kitchen Fire Compliance Assessment Program. Council opens the hearing at 2:45. Kristen.
Yes, thank you. It's me again. The item before you is requesting that council implement a commercial kitchen fire compliance assessment program. This item was brought forward to the city's Public Safety Committee some time ago as an area of interest by members of the public, at which time a conversation about the difference between our state-mandated inspections and our commercial kitchen inspection program came into play. As you know, our contract with Riverside County Fire, or CAL FIRE, covers fire prevention inspections for state-mandated occupancies. However, there are a number of other commercial kitchen businesses here within the city that fall under the California Fire Code, which up until today does only require compliance through the Honor Code. In order to address that without expanding on the city's fire protection services contract, staff working with the Public Safety Committee and the city attorney have developed a commercial kitchen fire compliance assessment program that ties commercial kitchen fire suppression system checks directly to our current business license renewal procedures. What this would mean is that beginning January 1st of 2026, any business required to maintain certified fire suppression systems would be charged a fire compliance assessment fee in order to renew their business license. This fee is already a part of the adopted fee schedule, which is why you don't have anything renewing or updating that information available to you today as part of the program. We would simply be charging a fee that's already in effect in order to adopt the program itself. The city's Code Enforcement Division would conduct annual unannounced spot checks to verify that all hood suppression systems are currently certified and have been cleaned, serviced, and operating as required. If a business is found to be non-compliant during that spot check, a couple of different actions could take place, including referral to the fire department for fire hazard review, citation under the municipal code, and revocation or suspension of the business license until compliance is achieved. This program is in alignment with Council's April 17th strategic planning goal of developing a program to inspect commercial kitchen fire suppression systems, and is in alignment with support of the Public Safety Committee.
It's supported by the Public Safety Committee?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
All affected businesses would be assessed an inspection fee, as I mentioned, for this license renewal. The adopted fee is established under the city's comprehensive fee schedule as item 5D, with a rate of $224.47 an hour for single hood systems. Multiple hood systems would be assessed at the minimum 2-hour fee with additional hourly charges for longer inspection times as needed. And again, this would be conducted internally by the city's Code Enforcement Division. To ensure a smooth rollout, staff have worked with the city attorney's office to develop a notification letter that would be sent out to all impacted businesses, asking them to attest to the number of hood suppression systems that they have, and allowing Code Enforcement and our finance team to work together to properly identify the necessary fee and move forward with a business license renewal. Those letters are prepared to go out upon adoption of the program, and additional notification to businesses and the public would ensue either through e-blasts or other forms of communication. We ask the council to approve the Public Safety Committee's recommendation to implement the program or provide alternative direction. And unfortunately, Wes is my subject matter expert on a lot of these things. He would be conducting these inspections, and he's unable to be with us here today. But I will answer any questions you may have to the best of my ability, and we'll go from there.
Does anybody have any questions about the program? Okay. Thank you, Kristen. We
I
will
move
op-
to accept as recommended.
We're gonna open the public
We're
hearing.
going to
Oh,
open
sorry.
the public hearing, public comment portion of the hearing. Do we have any public comment? We will close the public comment portion of the hearing. We are not going to go to council deliberations.
Well, for
I move to accept the recommendation.
Is there a second? All right, now, discussion. Now, discussion.
This has been in the works for
Since I was on
3.5
public safety.
years, I think. First came to the Public Safety Committee about 3.5 years ago, something like that. So it took a long and tortured path to get here, but it's been worked over pretty well. So it's a good piece of work product, I think. Obviously, I'll be supporting it.
Anybody else have any comment? The only comment I would make is just to clarify that this is not for residential inspections. This is strictly for commercial kitchens like restaurants, hotels, resorts, and so on, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, the motion has been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No.
Thank you.
The motion passes 5-0. Now we will move to general business. I-1 is the amendment to the employment agreement for the city manager. Eric, are you doing the report?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Good evening, afternoon, Mayor and City Council members. My name is Eric Sehi. I serve as your Assistant City Manager here at the City of Indian Wells. To let you know, Dr. Chris Freeland was appointed City Manager in 2019, and annually the City Council conducts a review of performance for the City Manager. This year, the City Council conducted the review and approved the City Manager's performance and recommended changes to the existing employment agreement. Those changes are outlined in your report, along with the attachment for Amendment 7 to the employment agreement, and I am here to answer any questions you may have.
Does anybody have a question for our Assistant City Manager? Hearing none. Open public comments. Do we have public comments? No public comments.
For purposes of discussion, I move adoption.
Is there any second?
Second the motion.
All right. Is there any further discussion from council? Hearing none, we'll go to a vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Me.
The motion.
Me,
You're opposed?
yes.
One opposed. The motion passes 4-1. Moving on to I-2, which is the funding request from Eisenhower Health for Trauma Center upgrade. Staff presentation and questions of staff.
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to be recusing myself,
Okay,
so I'll,
go back.
yeah, come and get me when it's over.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. McCarthy. Do you have a report?
Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. I'm here today to request your consent to begin a community engagement process regarding Eisenhower Health's proposed trauma center upgrade. Just to be clear, no funding discussions will be had today. The presentation is simply to hear whether or not you wish to start a public outreach effort so that residents can learn more about the program and share their feedback before any future action is considered. Today, Eisenhower Health currently has a level 4 trauma center, which means that it can handle initial evaluation and stabilization of trauma patients, but is limited in surgical and specialty services on site. Their plan is to move up to a level 3 trauma center within the next year and within a long-term goal of reaching a level 2 thereafter. Here's what that really means. A level 3 trauma center adds 24-hour-a-day coverage with trauma doctors and trauma surgeons. It handles urgent surgeries and has the capacity to stabilize critical cases. Moving up to a level 2 center goes even further than that with the addition of a neurosurgery and a dedicated trauma ICU, and finally, the ability to handle additional critical services. If the council supports moving forward today, a council committee would be formed for this community outreach. The activities would include a public meeting, mailed notices to every household in Indian Wells, and a process to collect and review resident input. We're joined today by the esteemed representatives from Eisenhower Health. They are Mr. Michael Landis, who is the president of Eisenhower Health Foundation and a former mayor of the city of Indian Wells, Ms. Vasquez, who is the director of community giving, and Dr. Contaxis, who is the medical director of the emergency department. They'll be presenting a very short presentation today and will be available for any technical questions the council may have. Thank you again for your time and your consideration.
Okay, before we start, does anybody have any questions for Mr. McCarthy?
Yes, I have a question. You mentioned a council committee. Is it staff's recommendation that the mayor appoint an ad hoc committee? Is that what your recommendation is?
Yes, sir. That's part of a recent council policy that you just implemented. Any extraordinary giving of any kind is formed via an ad hoc committee from the city council.
Appointed by the mayor and then approved by the council, is that correct?
I think so, sir.
I believe so.
Okay, fine, thank
So
you.
I think that's
I will
correct.
move to appoint the ad hoc committee of myself and the mayor pro tem to an ad hoc committee to look at this matter. Anybody on council?
And the process, you mentioned a community meeting as well?
Yes, sir. Well, that's also a possibility. The base minimum requirement requires a public meeting, which would be a meeting like today. And then we would also be required to do a mailer and to summarize. The additional step is having either a town hall or some kind of electronic outreach where we provide questionnaires and things like that.
Isn't that something that the ad hoc committee could recommend? Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
All right, I
And
do have a
for-
motion. Is there a second?
So just my
Let me-
last comment.
Well, let me get a second first, and
We
then we
have a-
can
Oh,
discuss.
Second.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a second.
We have a
Okay.
motion.
Mayor and
Discussion.
council, could we hold on to motions until after public comment, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I have another comment at this
Okay.
point in time, which is to say the context of this conversation emerged out of kind of two places. One was driving around with our esteemed sheriffs for the day and the fire department, and noticing how many people they service, especially the fire department, who fall in our city of Indian Wells and have to be helped, assisted, picked up, et cetera. And I noticed that upon a fall and upon a trauma to the head, that they are a half-hour drive away from getting treatment in Palm Springs, which is the nearest hospital to service trauma in an emergency room. That in combination with someone I've played golf with many times, John Elway, and his situation in La Quinta, which potentially could have been mitigated by a closer transportation. That, in addition to meeting with Mr. Landis and his team on several occasions, talking about the significance for, I think, not only the Indian Wells community, but La Quinta, Palm Desert, Indio, et cetera, having an important facility within reach of a traumatic injury, I think is exciting, critical for our community, and wholly support this endeavor and wanted to make sure everyone was aware of that.
Just a reminder, let's
Open to
keep
public.
comments for deliberation instead of questions of, this is questions of staff right now.
Right.
Okay.
All right. I do have a question, but I think I'll defer it until Mr. Landis comes up. And I don't know if you would know the answer, so.
So, Mr. Mayor, are you ready for the presentation?
No, we need to, yeah, I am ready for the presentation, yes.
All right. Let me call up the folks from Eisenhower.
Okay. Yeah, before the public comment.
Thank you, Kevin, and congratulations. And Mr. Mayor and fellow council people, I'm just thrilled to be able to be back. And this subject is critical. I mean, trauma is critical. It sounds critical, but it's critical also because of the placement of Eisenhower in the center of the entire valley. And it wasn't until 2022 that we actually finally broke through a lot of administrative entanglements for us to start our first and launch, if you will, our first trauma level 4. And trauma goes 4, 3, 2, 1, and you'll hear that from our head of community development, Monica Vasquez, who heads up all of our giving, especially amongst cities. But I wanted to thank you all for giving us the opportunity just to hear us and really also consider this as a significant funding, because trauma is extraordinarily expensive. Eisenhower is, yes, extraordinarily, if you will, impactful in the valley, but it is a not-for-profit, and I know our margins. We operate on about a 2.5% to 3% return on our margins. We don't have a large endowment. In fact, we don't have per se an endowment. People believe that's Eisenhower's well off. It's not. It actually operates almost exclusively pushing all of its revenues right back into patient care year after year after year, and we do that with philanthropy. So thank you for your considerations, and Monica, I know, has a succinct presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Mr. Mayor, council members, Eisenhower is deeply grateful to the City of Indian Wells' continued partnership and generosity over the years. The leadership has helped strengthen the health and safety of our entire Coachella Valley. There we go. In 2022, we proudly opened the John W. Larson Foundation Trauma Center, as it was mentioned, earning a Level 4 Trauma Center designation, the first step creating a regional destination for trauma care. This designation reflects our commitment to patient safety and advanced care for a wide range of injuries. But as our community grows, so do the needs. Treating trauma patients closer to home minimizes risks, improves outcomes, and ensures continuity of care. Our vision is clear: to elevate Eisenhower's Trauma Center step by step. In 2022, as we mentioned, designated Level 4 trauma, meaning we have 24/7 emergency physicians coverage with advanced trauma life support protocols and training. We will advance to a Level 3 in 2026, bringing on board 24/7 immediate coverage by expert trauma surgeons, ultimately becoming a Level 2, providing comprehensive trauma care so that even patients with the most complex injuries can receive life-saving treatment at Eisenhower without the need to transfer to other facilities. And perhaps we will become a Level 1. Only difference between a Level 2 and a Level 1, added academic responsibilities to support research, education, and system leadership. We are taking the appropriate steps to achieve our goals. We must recruit additional trauma surgeons, expand capacity in the emergency department and operating rooms, build out trauma ICU services, and deepen our partnership with EMS. This roadmap will ensure that patients with even the most complex injuries can receive life-saving treatment at Eisenhower. We're already making strong progress. Since opening, we've cared for more than 5,000 trauma patients. The reality is that our trauma numbers are 3 times greater than typical trauma 4 norms. We remodeled the Salta Health Center with the help of Jan Salta, a resident of Indian Wells, who generously donated $5 million to place surgeons steps away from the emergency department. In addition, we led Riverside County's first mass casualty drill with more than a dozen agencies. These are meaningful and measurable steps forward. To bring this vision to life, philanthropy plays a critical role. Today, we respectfully request $1 million investment from the City of Indian Wells to help us advance our trauma center. Your support will help us recruit critical specialists, expand capacity, and build the trauma infrastructure our region needs. Indian Wells has always been a steadfast partner in strengthening Eisenhower Health. Together, we've built services that benefit the entire Coachella Valley. We would be honored to continue the partnership as we take this next crucial step to advance trauma care. Thank you for your leadership, your support, and your trust in Eisenhower Health. At this time, we are happy to take any questions you may have.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
Is the $1 million request one time and immediate, or can it be done over a period of years?
That's a great question. I'm going to ask Mr. Landis to answer that question.
Well, if I had Dr. Contaxis answer the question, he'd say January would be great. But no, this is something that the City of Indian Wells can commit to over a multi-year period. However, this coming fiscal year for us, the fiscal year is July 1st through June 30th, we will expend almost 3.5 to 4 million on expanding trauma. And that period of time is probably a critical time for us. We actually have not budgeted but half of that. It's one of the reasons why we have come to the city to understand whether the city would consider support. So that's the full story.
And are you requesting the same from other cities?
We aren't. The City of Indian Wells is the only one we're requesting funding for, but we are requesting funding from your residents actively this season.
Question.
Anybody else?
So you can't get this across the finish line without a donation?
So because philanthropy has been so active, I think we have a good approach and chance, but we also, if I can turn back and I'm going to answer your question even more specifically, can you go to the, we're on this large of a project campaign currently, and trauma is not included in what we're currently raising money for in the entire valley. So on this particular 10 project list that you see right here, we're raising 279 million, of which we've raised 250 so far. We have another 29 million to go this year. So that conflicts, if you will, from the fundraising that we need for trauma as well. So does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And this trauma center, is it in the new building that's under construction now?
Yeah, so trauma is really a concept, but it is also a building. It is in the emergency department. There's equipment, there's treatment rooms that are in the emergency department. Dr. Contaxis can describe that, but we also have trauma surgeons that are in that SALTA building that are literally 25 yards away from the emergency. So they need treatment rooms that are outside of it where they can also house themselves. And we needed that because we've got to build that trauma team with neurosurgeons in the future as well to become trauma 2. And so that's being done earlier rather than later because of Jan Salta's gift. So. And
to clarify, currently today, we have a trauma 2 in Palm Springs.
Yes.
Okay.
Desert Regional is a fabulous trauma center. Actually, I can't say enough about the incredible team that they have for trauma at Desert Regional. But its location, it can limit, especially for our citizens here in the City of Indian Wells.
Thank you.
Just so I understand, are you proposing a new structure, or is it within the same structures that you have right now, that the expansion is going to be?
Yeah, within its current structure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the time frame to get to level 2? Please.
Let me just chip in on this.
Please.
Hi, thank you, Mayor.
Glad you're here.
Thank you for hearing this out. But, you know, when it comes to trauma, it's a really interesting paradigm. You actually have to perform at the next level in order to get certified. So right now, even though we're a level 4 trauma center, we have neurosurgery acting as if we're a trauma 3N, which means we have neurosurgery capacity. So we're seeing patient volumes equal to a level 3. And over the next year, as we document that we're able to manage those patients, then the American College of Surgeons comes and designates us as a level 3 trauma center. The next step is to act as a level 2. So you really have to put a lot of infrastructure and financing into getting to the point where you can start actually billing and getting patients that are those types of patients. And one of the problems kind of we run into in the Valley, and just to be candid with you all, is Desert Regional has the base station for trauma. And so what they're doing is diverting patients to their trauma center, even though we may be able to handle the traumas. It's not a bad thing, it's just that's what's been used to. But Riverside County is actually looking at that, and they may take a central role in sending trauma to the various hospitals, depending on their ability to function. So your ability to help us fund gets us to the point where we can have adequate trauma surgeons on call, equipment, nursing, and ICU coverage for those trauma patients. So just so you understand the kind of how it works. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
Doctor,
you.
my question was, I've been to the emergency room there. Is there enough capacity to add the census that would increase with with these next levels of trauma coverage?
Yeah, I mean, we're very busy. We see over
Right.
100,000 visits a year. But to be honest with you, Desert's capacity for trauma has reached its peak. I mean, there are times when they are oversaturated and we are taking spill off from them. In terms of trauma, that's not as big of an issue because the patients, trauma patients really are like stroke or heart attack patients where you descend on them, take care of them in an emergent fashion, and then they go to where they need to go, whether it's the OR or the ICU or the floor or home. You know, basically that's how it works. But, you know, our volumes are multifactorial, and I can share with you at some other time how that works and what we're doing to mitigate some of that. But we want to be able to take care of everybody, and the most critical patients are the most important.
And are you
Anybody else?
available on Saturday at 7:30 when USC beats Notre Dame for Chris when he has some trauma? So we can check him in.
I hate to say it, but I'm a Bruin, so you guys have fun.
Yeah, it's not emotional trauma.
Anybody else have any questions for Mr. Landis or the others from the hospital? Okay, thank you. All right.
I think additional.
That's why I'm going to go to the public comments. We'll go to public comments. Do we have public comments?
Yes, we have 2 speaker cards. We have Glenn Schubert, followed by Marcy Maxwell.
Okay. Welcome, Mr. Schubert.
Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, my name is Glenn Schubert. I'm a resident of Indian Wells. The reason I'm coming to talk about this today is to support this. For those of you that don't know, I worked as a clinical investigator on acute stroke for 25 years at 2 level 1 trauma centers, UCLA, and the University of Washington Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. It is crucially and vitally important to have trauma centers at this designation level close to the population. For those of you that don't know, Harborview Medical Center is the level 1 trauma center for the WWAMI region, which is Washington, Alaska, Montana, and Idaho. So you can imagine some of the places in rural, that's where they have to go to get trauma care. It makes a huge difference in the care for patients, especially in my research in stroke, to have this available for the patients in the area. and as an aging population, these are things that we're looking at. So I strongly encourage you to support this. Thank you.
Marcy Maxwell. Thank you, Ms. Maxwell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. Marcy Maxwell, also a resident of Indian Wells, and I'm here to strongly support. We moved from the Seattle area, where Harborview was, of course, in 2020, and one of the reasons that we felt we could move here or would move here was because of Eisenhower and the Eisenhower Network and services, and often have thought about if something traumatic did happen to us, not that we want that at all, that we would like to be in the Eisenhower Network we trust, and we have invested our time and effort and as donors also. So we feel this is a really important effort. I like the idea of making sure that the public and our neighbors and friends around Indian Wells get the opportunity to hear more about it and be a part of investing in it. And we absolutely need this in our valley, in this growing valley, growing population, and for visitors that come here too, quite frankly. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Maxwell. Do we have any other public comments? All right, no.
This is a discussion. I move adoption of the staff report.
I second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So is this, just for clarity purposes, is the staff report suggesting we create an ad hoc committee and to further research and bring back to council? Is that the notion?
That is, and I think there was some initial comment on who that committee should be, so I think it goes back to
Right,
the
I
mayor
think
and the
after
airport.
we,
So the ad hoc committee is the two of you?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And we can move on with a separate motion on that if council would like. So I would move that the ad hoc committee be myself and Mayor Pro Tem Reed.
Second.
Any comment, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Both motions pass 4-0.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Could I just ask what you recommend, what's the timing on this? When do you think this will come to us for a vote?
It depends on the work of the ad hoc committee and the community outreach. We'll try to get a meeting together in the next week or two with the ad hoc committee to start putting that structure together. It's really going to be at the purview of the ad hoc committee to advance this.
Okay, but I mean, there's certain things that have to occur, like the mailers and things like that. So
Right, but that ad hoc committee will work with city staff, Eisenhower, to approve that mailer before it goes out.
Okay, fine, thank you.
All right, we are going to take a quick 5-minute break and come back for the rest of the agenda.
Thank you.
Wait, I can pass the announce grace.
Yeah, exactly.
He blew his lead. He blew his lead.
Hi, Tina. Tina, I'm in a city council meeting. I'm going to have to call you back. When would be a good time? Can I call you tomorrow? Okay, tell me what you say, December what? That's, well, I'm going to have to make a change, so yes, I'll call you, well, yes, I'll call you tomorrow. I'll call you tomorrow after our council meeting. Thank you. Bye-bye.
It's a tough city. It is. It's really
David Chapman is one of the best medical doctors of ours. He worked over a record for, he said, I said, I understand they have her in a really but here's what close ranks.
Where is our city manager? We need our city manager. We don't? Where he is. There's our city manager. All right. Okay. We can move ahead to I3, Summary of Actions Related to the 2025 City Council Strategic Plan. Chris or Eric, who has a report?
I got it for you, Mayor. Again, Eric Seja, Assistant City Manager, and thank you again for allowing me to present this item. In April of this year, the City Council did adopt the 2025 Strategic Plan, and tonight staff's here to give you an update on that plan. So if I get the next slide. As part of that plan, there are 8 goals that were adopted. And underneath each of those 8 goals, several priorities were adopted to accomplish it. With a total of 48 priorities identified for the city manager and city staff to accomplish. Many of these goals were either to be completed in the next 12 months, in the next 3 years, or 3 years and beyond. And so out of those 48 goals, within the first 6 months, 6 of those have been completed. And tonight you took action on additional 6 items that move towards completion of each one of those goals. So now there's approximately 29 of those priorities still in progress, with 7 of those priorities yet to start. Those that have yet to start are because they are multi-year, longer term, longer outlook, and often rely on other parties, such as the Cocoon Development, which is part of one of your goals here for promoting development and tourism. Here on the progress to date, we've outlined a couple of those accomplishments and goals that have been completed, including your expansion of co-community partnerships and completion of the emergency operations plan. That really is the conclusion of this presentation. Staff is available to answer any questions you may have on specific priorities or goals.
Does anybody have any questions? Councilmember Sanders.
I do. Under, I think it's item number 8, other initiatives in the list of strategic plan issues. Is it goal 8? Sorry, I don't have the slide presentation in front of me. Oh, great. Oh, she did pass it out, didn't she? Anyway, it has to do with the shade structure at Fairway Park. Exactly where are we on that?
Thank you, Councilmember Sanders. So after council adopted the strategic planning, staff went out and did an RFP with artists to see about a scope of a project similar to what was completed in Palm Springs. And that project came back with some initial proposals to look at various shade structures that would cover a large portion of the grass area of the park. We've shared that initial review with the council, and I think there's some concern about the scope of the project. So I appreciate you bringing that up to see if there's an initiative to still move forward with that, change the scope, or whatnot with the city council.
Well, let me express my concern. So Chris Herman and his landscape design team, I think, designed a really beautiful park. It's a jewel. My concern is that if we start tinkering with the park, putting in shade structures and that sort of thing, it's going to upset the landscape architectural integrity of the work that Chris Herman did. I think the city council needs to see what it would look like with a photo simulation and some other graphics before a final decision is made.
I would also like to add is why are we doing this? Can we just chat in a minute about why we're doing this?
Of course we can. Sure.
Does anybody have anything to add as to why?
Well, I think this has come up, and my concern with it, I'm sorry.
It sounds to me like that's a question for your colleagues instead of a question for staff.
That's a question, colleague question. We don't have staff up here.
I know, but have we taken public comment on this?
All right, let's take
Okay.
public
do that
comment.
before
Okay.
deliberation.
Do we have any public
I don't
comment?
have any.
Okay.
Okay.
Does somebody have a motion with respect to I-4, no, I'm sorry, I-3, summary of actions related to the 2025 City Council Strategic
Receive
Plan?
and file, isn't it?
Is it a receive and file? I don't know. It doesn't say that on my,
Actually, the recommended actions, council discussed the actions taken to effectuate this 2025 plan to date and finds the item exempt from CEQA. That's all. So
And
it's,
receive and file the report.
right, the intent is if there's any changes to the strategic plan, this is intended just to be an update. But as we've been progressing, are we on the right track? Are there changes that you'd like to see or whatnot on this or any of the different items contained within the
so you want
report?
to make a motion?
Yeah, I move that we receive and file.
Second,
For purposes of discussion, I make this motion.
right. Second, okay, discussion.
So my discussion is in regard to why we're doing this, or why we're proposing to do this.
I think the original.
This being a
The shade
shade structure over the park.
Yes.
Yeah, I think my concern when I heard about this or saw some of the, or heard about some of the plans was that this was a huge shade structure over the entire park, which did not seem to me to be something that was necessary or that would be desirable, partially for the reasons described by Councilmember Sanders. So my feeling is that, and maybe this wasn't made clear at strategic planning, but my feeling is that we could use shade structures over the places where people sit, the seating structures, that would be small and unobtrusive, but that would give shade, especially in the summer when, when it's very hot there, and people would have shade if they wanted to sit down in the park. And that would be the reason that I would think that we could use some shade structures that would be small and maybe even removable, but they should be strong enough to withstand wind, which we have a lot of. So we need to have some careful planning, and but yes, I think to have. I mean, the idea was that we got from the city manager was to have a shade structure that would cover the entire lawn area of the park, which to me just would not make any sense. But anybody else? Yes.
Well, I agree with both of you gentlemen who have expressed concerns. And if we are to go forward, I would agree with the mayor that it ought to be very low-key and removable, because it's not necessary during the season. It would only be necessary during the summer months. And if we even bother to go forward, I would hope that it would be removable so that it would only go up during the summer.
Anybody else? Brian, any more?
Yeah, just to add to that, I mean, we have 2 concrete benches, they're not concrete, granite benches. Has anyone checked how hot they get in the summertime in the direct sun?
Very hot, and we have more than 2. We have probably 4 or 5.
We have 4
or 6, something like
I mean,
that.
that for me, if we're going to do any kind of shade structuring, I mean, just for a safety measure, anybody that ever sat down in a granite, a 4-foot thick granite carved out, yeah, it's got to be extreme. You could cook an egg on it, I'm sure. So if you can do that, you could obviously get a second-degree burn without question.
Yeah, I think that Council Member Reed's suggestion about making them removable is a good one. But I'm just concerned about architectural integrity. We paid dearly for what we got, and it was certainly well worth it. But I'd hate to spoil it.
The other point is that I think we can use public art funds for these shade structures, which is a pretty good use of public art funds, I would think.
Correct. If it's part of a public outreach of public art community, then yes, the funds can be utilized. And if we want to use a consultant to help accommodate the public art over, if it's, I hear a consensus, sounds like perhaps just over seating areas, perhaps that's some work that we can work with Mr. Harmon or another landscape architect to assist too.
I think that would be a good idea to work with.
I do too. He's the one who designed the park in the first place.
Okay, so we have a motion to receive and file. We have a second. If there's no more discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, let's move
So does
on.
that give you the direction you need, Chris?
It does on that item, yes. I felt there was consensus from the council to adjust that one project, yes.
All right,
Okay.
before we get off of this, can I just
Yeah.
say one thing? I'm sure it's in here, but I just want to make sure that it's at the top of the priority, and that is doing something about cell service, C-E-L-L service, and the lack thereof in many parts of our city. You're working on that diligently, are you?
We are, so just to bring up that comment, we've actually been doing surveying the last 2 weeks throughout the community in our HOAs, the gated communities, all throughout the community as part of that survey. So consultants on board and doing the research now.
And we'll be addressing that in the public safety meeting as well.
Right, and I apologize to go backtrack. There was previous discussion that I had, that there were some comments from council members about the drought-tolerant landscaping along Highway 111 that I wanted to make sure I bring up, or we can bring up at a later date if that's what you would prefer.
Why don't we bring it up at a later date and move on?
Prerogative of the council.
Do you want to put it on the agenda for
A future meeting?
a future meeting?
Sure. I'll
So
move this.
again,
I'll
I'm,
second
I'm
that.
a little confused because we had a strategic planning meeting. We approved a bunch of initiatives. I thought we approved landscaping. Is that not the case? And so now we're going to take a vote on landscaping, and are we going to take a vote on every other item in the strategic plan?
No, that's completely up to the prerogative of the city council. You have your list of initiatives. I know that in discussions with council members prior to the meeting, at least one of you had expressed some thoughts about revisiting this one particular item, and we can do that at a later date, it sounds like.
Or
the
not.
other, what's that?
Or not?
Or not, absolutely.
Mayor, if I may?
Yes.
Wasn't this voted on a prior council about 3 years ago? This,
That's when it began, but it's been reaffirmed each year since.
okay, but at strategic planning, we didn't go into depth on what changes were going to be made. We were just, what,
We
am I
just,
correct?
it's just a matter to look into,
Right.
as all the other strategic planning.
We
And
were
we
just
received
looking-
and filed this. We're not making any plans, but I would suggest that the best way to do it is to put it on the agenda for a future meeting and discuss it.
Right, and there is a plan. There has been research done.
So over the last few years, we concluded recently with a complete design based on the council direction.
Okay.
Done by
And
landscape
so
architect.
with a receive and file, had you not raised this issue specifically, would you proceed to go ahead and do the landscaping?
We would not.
So you'd have to bring it back at a certain time?
Become-
Because it involves an expense of,
Yes, it does. Plus, we want to make sure there's community outreach before any initiative like that begins.
I see. Thank you.
Yep.
So do we have a motion, a second, to put it on a future agenda? Landscaping?
At such time as the staff is ready.
Right, I mean,
Right.
and
Staff will do that, right?
We certainly can.
So,
It's going to come from staff rather than from us.
okay,
He's already said that he's going to have to bring it back to us.
okay.
did we vote officially on the receive and file?
We did.
There you go. So let's move on.
Okay. We'll move into the
I-4.
I-4 branding ad hoc recommendations, city seal, color palette, mission and vision statement, staff presentation, and questions of staff.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, resident and guests, good afternoon. My name is Michaela Wilkie, Senior Management Analyst with the City of Indian Wells. I'm pleased to present the Branding Ad Hoc Committee's recommendations consisting of your Mayor, Bruce Whitman, and Councilmember Dr. Topher Taylor. I want to remind you that the Ad Hoc Committee was formed back on April 17th with your strategic planning for branding goals. First, the committee would like to adopt a revised city seal logo. There was an addition of a female tennis player. This updated design modernizes our visual identity while preserving the prestige and recognition associated with Indian Wells. So I'll give you a minute to kind of look at that. Alongside this, the committee recommended refreshing the color palette in addition to our current colors of Cabernet and Platinum. This is desert-inspired tones that will unify our digital platforms and enhance our visual presence across media. This is also something that has been adopted with the tourism side for our ads to make them more visually appealing. Cabernet is kind of a hard color when working with. Second, this committee refined the mission statement and introduced a new vision statement. And it's important to distinguish between the two. A mission statement defines what we do today and our purpose and services, while on the other hand, a vision statement looks forward. It expresses what we aspire to become. So we have the current mission statement there for your review and the revised recommended mission statement as well as vision statement that the committee is recommending. Together, the committee feels the statements clarify the city's values and ambitions, guiding both internal decision-making and external messaging. Finally, the committee seeks approval to move forward with adopting the new seal and color palette, updating the mission and adding the vision statement, beginning with the website redesign using some of those new color palette choices, and initiating discussion with our resort partners about enhancing Indian Wells Lane's fountains and the golf resort campus entry. Thank you for your time and consideration. The committee is happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Does anybody have any questions? All right, do we have any public comments? We have no public comments.
For purposes of discussion, I move approval of the recommendation from the Branding Ad Hoc Committee.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes. Thank you for all your hard work, the ad hoc committee, Michaela. I'm excited about the colors. I really love the new logo. I'm a little concerned about the mission statement.
Can we put that back on the mission statement, back on the thing?
Nowhere in here do we have quality of life. And that's the three
You mean
words.
on the new one, 'cause it's
And
in the
new
old
one,
one.
and the new one. And I just think that we should move forward with tradition with that and keep it in there. That's who we are. That's what everybody knows us by. So I'm not.
You want to add that language?
Somewhere in there, yes, please.
In the mission statement or the vision
No,
statement?
the
Mission statement.
Mission statement.
Yeah.
Well, it is on our license plates, so.
It is.
All over town.
It's not.
We're going to have to get new license plates. What a shame.
It's not.
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah, it's not only a mission statement, but it's our motto. That's who we are. Quality of life. That's what we
So
sell.
we're
That's-
3,000 other cities, but I hear
No,
your point.
I know, but that's what we sell. That's what Samuel over here is representing on his behalf at Visit Greater Palm Springs, that we are the quality of life. And that's why we have what we have. And I think we need to keep that brand in our mission statement.
Anybody else? Anybody else have any?
I'm first of all, let me commend the committee, as Councilman Penna did, regarding the color palette and the amendment to our city logo. By the way, we have a single-digit golfer here and a very, very good tennis player.
I'm a single-digit golfer. I don't golf.
Zero, right. So are the poses good?
We
Are
had
they
to work
correct?
on that. The original woman tennis player had on a dress that would have been appropriate for the 1915,
50 years ago.
1915 Wimbledon Championships.
I'm half in jest, but somewhat serious, So I really like the current mission statement, but that doesn't mean I'm, not amenable to revising it. We are if we're not now, we are becoming an international resort destination. And I think we need to keep that in mind as we move forward and make decisions about the future of this city. The things that we do aesthetically, the things that we do in terms of public safety, it all hopefully feeds into that international resort destination mission. And so I'd like to see some language in the revised mission statement that speaks to international resort.
That's the purpose of the vision statement.
Well,
that's what it says. Indian Wells will continue to be famed Southern California destination.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm used to the military term mission. And when you have a mission in the military, everything you do is supposed to be consistent with that mission. And so maybe it's my background that's influencing me here, but I'd really like to see in the mission statement something about international resort destination.
Anybody else have a comment?
So what if we revise the standing motion to accept the revised seal, the color palettes, maintain the current mission, and accept the recommended vision?
Except the seal, aren't you going to replace the, are you happy with the, I'm sorry, I thought you
No, I
wanted
was
it
just
changed.
The seal, he's happy with the seal.
I
Okay,
was
fine.
wondering if the follow-through by
Wanted
the
to make
golfer
sure,
was correct.
wanted to make sure that that was all.
Service pose
Yes,
was
indeed.
correct for
That's
the
right.
tennis player.
I'm pleased to add a woman to our seal, and I'm pleased to add the
No, it's
game of
good.
tennis to our seal.
No, it's a good call. Very good call.
So, as I understand it, the only,
So,
yeah,
But you're,
what is your,
The amended motion is to accept the seal as recommended, to accept the color palettes as recommended, to keep the current mission statement, and to accept the recommended vision statement.
I second.
any discussion? Yes.
For clarification, I'm told that there might be other items included in staff's recommendation. Would it be fair, Dr. Taylor, to restate your motion as moving staff's recommendation except for the change of mission statement?
There you go, fine with me.
Okay, thank you.
And second to that?
I second.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes 5-0. The entire recommendation passes 5-0, but for the retention of our whole current mission statement. All right, moving on to general business item I-5, consideration of a reimbursement program for local businesses to become autism certified through the International Board of Credentialing and Continuing Education Standards. Assistant City Manager, do you have a report?
Yes, good evening again. Today, staff is requesting your direction and authorization for the city manager to, for the creation of an autism certification reimbursement program. Essentially, businesses work with the International Board of Credentialing and Continuing Education Services to obtain this autism designation, and we're asking that $10,000 be reprogrammed specifically for this program itself, and that would help 4 local businesses to offset their initiation fee essentially with that board. Staff anticipates promoting this through our hospitality partners as well as attractions in the city and restaurants as well. I want to mention that Visit Greater Palm Springs has really made a push for the entire Coachella Valley to endeavor to get these certifications, and recently the Coachella Valley was recognized as an autism destination for tourism. So myself, as well as a representative from Visit Greater Palm Springs, are here to answer any questions you may have.
Anybody have any questions for the Assistant City Manager on the autism proposal. It's a financing proposal from the general fund of $10,000, correct? Okay.
And we already have a number of certifications in the city for autism, right? So what's the distinction between what exists and this, please?
So right now, the Living Desert, the Renaissance, and the City of Indian Wells have received this designation. We would use these funds to promote it with other hotel partners, and then, like I mentioned, attractions and restaurants.
And then, can I ask Visit Greater Palm Springs, the significance as it's being touted as a important part of this consideration, the potential positive impact of this offering to have our facilities receive autistic
Absolutely.
certification?
If I can invite Josh Hines up.
You're welcome. Good afternoon. I'm Josh Hines, Community Engagement Manager at Visit Greater Palm Springs. I've been spearheading this initiative. I'm also a parent to 3 boys on the spectrum, so it means a lot to me. Obviously, the advantages to doing this, to getting certified, it's to help customers that would come, families that would come, especially the Grand Hyatt, where you've got a lot of water attractions, that would give their staff members knowledge so that they would be able to help families that have individuals on the spectrum or even adults on the spectrum, because adults travel as well. So we've been spearheading this across the valley, as Eric said, and we want to see it continue to grow. It is something that you can be proud of. I mean, how great would it be to not only have the Renaissance, but then to have the entire, the Tommy Bahama, to have the Grand Hyatt. You could even get the Indian Wells Golf Resort as well, because they have shots in the night still, right? So they have activities where kids and families go to. So we've seen it be tremendously impactful from the tourism standpoint, but we also see it from the community standpoint. So I ask you to please consider this motion. Do you have any other questions?
So I guess, well, I'm seeking clarity on the question, on your statement that we've seen tremendous positive reaction from tourism. Is that quantifiable?
Quantifiable as far as ROI that I can do quantify, I do not have that. No, I do not. I will tell you that our latest survey, we found that there was 11% of our visitors have special needs that are coming here. I was recently this week at the Travelability Conference in Oregon, and there was data that even was higher numbers as far as nationwide, as far as travelers that are on either the autism spectrum or have special needs, things like that. But I can't give you an ROI, a number specifically. I can just tell you the impact as far as the reputation of the businesses and organizations that have done that. And that coming from even being at the Travelability Conference just this week, about how many different organizations and how many other DMOs and how many other cities come up and say, wow, we love the example that you guys have set in Greater Palm Springs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
No questions.
Questions or comments?
Questions? Sir? Sir? I think we have another question.
Oh, no, I have a comment, but it can wait until there's
Well, I have a
motion on
question.
the floor.
I have a question. So what you're asking, we're asking for $10,000 for 4. So this is sort of like a pilot program in a way, is it?
That's right, and I failed to mention, I apologize, it's in the report that we would actually promote this program to our local businesses and then report back to the city council after 6 months on the success of that program. And if we need an additional appropriation, we would bring that back to you.
So is $2,500 the amount that it costs to become certified?
It's the base cost IBCCS requires for each business to get certified, and then they have to pay per person, for each individual person for their training modules to get certified. In some cases, and they would, I know for sure, with the Grand Hyatt, because they have a water park element, they would require an on-site review where they would go through and walk through the property, give them a report about the best practices, about having a sensory room, and they would also provide sensory signs, so it would be able to tell a family, hey, in this part of the resort, this is the type of sensory that might affect a child, whether it's a touch a smell, a sense of hearing, too much light, anything like that, or obviously water, things of that nature. I would like to add, I would hope that this would inspire, by the city doing this, it would inspire obviously the other resorts to do it. And also, I would hope that it would inspire the tennis garden to do it as well. The Australian Open is certified through a different company. I think it would be great to have our #1 sports attraction, in which I used to work. I used to work in the suites for 15 years, and I love the event. How great would it be if you guys could say, hey, over there, BNP, we support getting this done. And of course, we have, I believe, we have a board member that is part of the BNP as well. So, but I would just love to see this influence from the city of like, hey, we want everybody in our city, big resorts, the tennis garden, we want to see this happen because it's a good thing. And it's telling the world that, hey, Indian Wells is welcoming and supportive of families that have individuals or individuals that are on the autism spectrum.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll move the recommended action.
Second.
Under discussion?
Any discussion?
Yeah.
I have one comment, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm
before
sorry.
Oh, we do have a public comment?
Yes, we do have one.
Oh, okay.
Catherine Silva?
You want to hit the mic?
Yeah, there you go.
Ah, okay. My name is Catherine. I work for Variety Children's Charity of the Desert. I want to foremost thank all of the city council members to give me this opportunity to speak to you. Today, I want to talk about how powerful and forward-thinking this initiative is to help the city of Indian Wells become a certified autism destination. The certification isn't just a title. It's a commitment for inclusivity that will benefit both of our residents and many of the families who do come visit the city. At Variety Children's Charity of the Desert, we focus on inclusion and accessibility. We've seen firsthand how this specific training transforms our environments. Businesses that go through this certification gain tools to better understand sensory, communication, and behavioral differences. That means fewer misunderstandings, more welcoming spaces, and higher customer satisfaction, especially for those families who are underserved. Importantly, this isn't just about tourism. The Certified Autism Destination Certificate allows Indian Wells businesses to better serve local families living with autism. It sends a message that Indian Wells values all its residents and that we want to make everyone feel seen, supported, and welcome in their own community. That can also keep families local for dining, recreational, and shopping, if they go looking somewhere else. Indian Wells is known for its excellence in service, hospitality, and experience. Earning a certified autism destination status supports that brand. It signals to travelers that we are forward-thinking and inclusive, and it appeals to a growing group of families who actively seek autism-friendly destinations. The initiative proposed for a reimbursement grant helps local businesses cover the cost of the certification. It shows that the city is invested in its inclusive growth and ensuring businesses of all sizes can gain the certification, even the smaller ones or the independent ones. In closing, thank you again for considering this initiative. By supporting Indian Wells as a certified autism destination, you're helping us lead with compassion, innovation, and inclusivity while strengthening our community and the economy as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody have a question for the commenter? No. Okay, so we went a little out of turn with our motion, but I think we can just renew it, the motion.
I move the
and second.
recommended action.
I second.
Any further discussion?
Just a brief comment. There's two ways to look at this. One is enlightened self-interest. And by that I mean the hospitality industry is very competitive. Any edge that we can achieve, I think, will redound to our benefit. The other way to look at it is it's the right thing to do.
I would like to also add that autism isn't just a child issue, it's also adults. And to be certified, we're obviously certified as a city, And I think that if we can encourage our partners and our business partners to do so as well, I think that just makes us even more.
Any other comments? No. I guess my only comment is I'm not exactly sure what the certification either is what's required to get a certification or what it actually accomplishes. But, I mean, as Councilmember Sanders says, there's, this is something that actually we're just subsidizing private businesses that want to do this, and I think that's fine because we want to encourage businesses to do whatever it is to make their businesses more successful, and hopefully this would do that. All right. There's been a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0. Let's move on to council member reports, starting with Councilmember Sanders.
Pesky Mike. Yes. Just a couple of things. First of all, we are gearing up for Veterans Day. We have just a remarkable, outstanding program that is in the works for Veterans Day. And we're very honored to have, and I'm not overstating this, a world-class singer, performer, who will be flying all the way from Washington, D.C. to entertain us on Veterans Day. She's a staff sergeant, a sergeant first class in the United States Army. She performs with the band that entertains the President of the United States, foreign dignitaries. She performs at state dinners. She performs at very high-level military functions, not only in Washington, D.C., but around the world. Her name is Nicole Bouffard. She is the daughter of Larry Bouffard, who is a resident of Indian Wells.
And was here earlier.
He was here earlier, and so it's going to be very special. We'll also be honoring the last surviving Indian Wells resident veteran of World War II. We'll be honoring Korean War veterans and Vietnam War veterans. So it's a full program, and it's going to be very special. So I hope everybody will show up and honor our veterans and enjoy the entertainment that we have to offer on Veterans Day. Second thing, we had a representative from the AQMD here talk about the Dust Summit. We do have the active cooperation of Congressman Ken Calvert, who is getting some language in what is called the report on the Interior Appropriations Bill that will direct the EPA to get directly involved in our effort to get our arms around the dust problem here in the Coachella Valley. It's no secret, everybody knows, obviously, that Congress is hung up over what's called the continuing resolution. But the idea is to get back to the regular appropriations process so that this bill that will have our report language can get through the Senate and get through the House and signed by the President. That is tentatively scheduled to happen about the middle of November. So keep your fingers crossed. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Councilmember Penna.
Okay. As far as our public safety meetings, I'm really excited about our new motor that's going to be coming on board next week. That's a huge hurdle. I think everyone's going to see the difference in our city with how much they're going to be able to mitigate some of the speeding and issues that are taking place right now. City Manager Freeland touched little bit on community activities that we have coming up. Just to further lament on that, we have the Welcome Back Party next Thursday, and it is dubbed Thursday Night Fever, which is 70s. So if anybody wants to dress up in dig out their 70s attire and bring that out, that'd be great. We're gonna have some people there gonna be dressed up as well. The Veterans Day ceremony, we're looking forward to that. We do have another event on November 20th, movie night on the Green, the golf resort at the Shots in the Night location. The holiday tree lighting ceremony, which will take place the day of the Players Course opening. I'm not sure what time that's going to be. I'm guessing around 5. We're going to have to pin that down a little bit because with the hour back and it's getting dark so early in the hill behind us, so I think 5 is going to be a good time. We also have a new announcement with a new partnership with the Palm Springs Power Baseball. We're going to be doing an event there, not in the summer, in the springtime, so we can integrate some baseball into our city activities. Up next, I have Grants and Aid update. We're meeting October 22nd to review the applications for Grants and Aid and homelessness services. Recommendations will be taken to the City Council for approval in consideration at the November City Council meeting. And that is all I have.
Next, Council Member Taylor.
So we learned about the branding ad hoc committee. Thank you for your support of the logo. CVAG homelessness. We approved their allocation. They're very happy about that. Governance ad hoc, working on penalties for rule breaking and ethics breaking at the golf course, and with our resident benefits card for reselling of tickets, which has been going on and is not appropriate. Indian Wells Golf Resort, the Epson Tour was a terrific success. Really excited, came down to a playoff, as many of you well know, and just very exciting. The LPGA, the president of the LPGA was very happy as well, and we look forward to continued conversations about holding an LPGA event here. We're beginning to talk about a city championship golf tournament as well. There's an ad hoc committee meeting in a couple weeks on that. For those of you who have any ideas, feel free to reach out to me on that as well. We were in Cal City's kind of fall event meeting in Long Beach for a few days last week. The mayor and I attended along with the city manager and a number of staff. It's a very interesting event where the cities in California gather for a lot of meetings to kind of best practices from everything from technology plans to legal updates on legal agendas within cities to California state policy, federal policy, budgeting considerations, new technologies. So it was a very informative few days, and we'll have some takeaways here, including the technology plan, which was previously referenced in this meeting. That's all I have. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Reed.
I have nothing to report except it's 1-1 in the bottom of the third.
Okay. I have a few things. We've talked about the branding committee's work, the JPIA. We've got an award winner over here, Mr. McCarthy. I attended the board meeting of the Children's Museum. It was my first meeting there. What a great place that is, and they've got a lot of initiatives for everything from infants to basically teenagers. And maybe it's an amazing place. The CVAG Executive Committee, mostly the last meeting included what I would consider to be very large sums for the completion of CV Link at various places in the valley. There was also a report on a shade tree program that we might want to look at. I don't know if we know about that, but we ought to look into that because there's money available from some federal and state programs for that was reported at the meeting. There was a report on a big project on Varner Road to make it safer. I guess there's been some accidents on Varner. And then there was a legislative report. Cove Communities, we met and talked about some, I think we reported that last meeting though, didn't we? We've already reported that meeting.
We're meeting next week.
And meeting next week. Desert Sands, nothing to report there. Golf Advisory Committee, I think Dr. Taylor took care of that. And Sunline, which is a great group of people, the annual report and budget was presented. There's a big problem with this CR on the federal level with funding for hydrogen, which 70% of the buses for Sunline use as their fuel. And it's a big problem for Sunline, so hopefully they'll be able to resolve that. They announced that Yellow Cab in the Valley has gone out of business. So the cabs that are left are Palm Springs and Coachella Valley cabs if you need a cab at the airport, but no more Yellow Cab. At the Cove, I think we discussed the MOU agreements with the other cities, and it was recommended that we have separate MOUs with each city. And I think that's all I got. So we will adjourn.
Mr. Mayor, did you mention your attendance at
Oh,
council?
and I also attended the meetings at Long Beach for the League of California Cities. Very interesting discussions about development agreements, which are relevant to us, and sales tax ballot measures that I went to, legal issues. I think this was the best meeting I've been to. I think there were more different topics than usual up in Sacramento. I think this was really a well-put-together meeting. So we learned a lot, and as Dr. Taylor said, things that we can definitely use here. That being said, this meeting is adjourned to a regularly scheduled meeting of the City Council to be held at 1:30 p.m. on November 6th, 2025 in the City Hall Council Chambers.
It's 4 o'clock. Yes.